Hey everyone, this is ELPHNT for ADSR, and in this video I want to take a look at how we can use the new Echo device in Live 10 for some interesting rhythmic sound design. The Echo device is an analog style delay and reverb effect, and it sounds fantastic. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to basically ignore pretty much all of the effect and just focus in on one section in particular, and that is the noise generator. So Echo features this noise generator section, which is sort of intended to allow you to add a little bit of analog noise flavor to the effect. And it sounds a little bit like this. Now, the first thing we'll want to do is actually turn off the delay effect for now. So I'm going to turn the feedback down and set my delay time as low as it'll go, my dry wet to 100%. So I'm just hearing the raw noise. So this noise actually comes before the delay effect, so you can feed it into the delay. But now with the delay off, just getting the raw noise. The noise also has this morph control, which allows you to morph between various different timbres of noise, which all sound pretty interesting and give us a lot of options when it comes to sound design. So what we're going to do is modulate this noise to create some rhythmic loops and percussion sounds. To do that, we're going to be using another new device in Live 10, and this is a Max for Live device. So you're going to need Ableton Live Suite with Max for Live to be able to use it, and it's called the Shaper. So the Shaper device is essentially an LFO with a custom wave shape. So you can draw whatever wave shape you'd like in here, and it creates it as an LFO, which you can then map to any parameter within Live. So we're going to map this to our noise amount. And already you'll hear we start to get a drum-like sound. And we can adjust the envelope of this drum by adjusting the shape of our LFO waveform. So we can start to create some interesting rhythmic patterns using this. So there we have a basic rhythmic pattern going using our noise. But now let's start to turn this into more of a kick drum maybe. So we can go to our morph and find a particular texture of the noise that has a little bit more low frequencies to it. So around there is pretty good. What we can do next is use another new effect in Live 10 called drum bus. So drum bus is sort of a general purpose drum processing tool, and we're going to be using this boom section, which lets you apply a resonant low frequency boom to the sound. You'll hear what I mean. And we can even tune this as well. There we're starting to get some kick drums. To make this a little bit more interesting, we can also modulate our morph control. And to do that, we're going to use another Max for Live device, this time just the basic LFO. And so we'll map that to our morph and maybe give it a random waveform. And we'll restrict the range of the control that the LFO is affecting. We're going to start to get this really interesting sort of modulated kick drum pattern that's going to change and evolve over time. So let's go for another element of our drums. We'll add in another echo effect. And this will be our hi-hat. So again, we'll turn off all of the delay elements. enable our noise. And again, we'll grab the shaper device and map this to the amount. Now, in order to get our devices back in sync, we just need to start our timeline. So we can start to program in an interesting hi-hat pattern over here. And in order to start making this sound a little bit more like a hi-hat, we can put an EQ on it and take out some of the low frequencies. And again, maybe let's modulate the morph of our noise. Create this slightly evolving hi-hat pattern. Let's go for one more element. Let's add in a snare drum. Again, turn down all the delay elements of echo. Enable our noise, and let's grab a shaper. And we can get even more precise with our envelope for our snare drum by turning off the grid snapping in the shaper. And we'll maybe add an EQ to this. It's actually starting to sound like a pretty decent clap. What I find works quite nicely for claps and snares is adding a little bit of overdrive. And maybe let's add a little bit of reverb to that. So we've got a basic drum pattern going. If we want, we can maybe stick all of these into a group. And even put a drums bus on the whole group. And we can go in and start manipulating some of these patterns. Now the last thing we need to do is perhaps record this as audio, because all of this is actually being generated in real time. So just to make sure that we've captured our idea, we'll create a new audio track. and set it to receive audio from our drums. And just start recording. And we can even manipulate some of these as we're recording. And so there we have our drum pattern, and you'll hear how it's got this really interesting evolving texture. So the patterns and the sounds are all morphing over time. So we could of course go in and create multiple different patterns. We could even record each one of these patterns individually. And create some kind of construction kit. So to give you an idea of some of the kinds of sounds you can create, I've put together a basic pack of just some loops that I've created using this technique, which you can download completely for free. There'll be a link in the description of the video. So I hope this video has given you some ideas of how you can create some interesting new rhythmic parts to use in your productions. Thanks for watching.